Hi, my name's Nut and Fancy. I'll be reviewing two small pocket lights for Amazon.com. The first is the Streamlight Stylus. Second one is the Streamlight Stylus Pro. This top one here. First off, we'll talk about the Stylus, the regular one. This is a thin LED portable flashlight. Both of the lights, super high quality, made of anodized aluminum. The Stylus has a glossy anodized finish on it. It is a fairly bright LED. I think they listed at about 4.5, 4.3 lumens. That's what it looks like. Has a momentary push button switch at the end. If you want it to be a constant on, you have to actually rotate it to the on position like such. Not quite as convenient as a push button switch, but fairly functional. Has a clip on it as well. Can rotate around the body, kind of like some of the pins you've seen in the past. Also comes with a barrel guard for the tip of the light, so you can place this on. Not super sure what the purpose is. I guess if you want to focus a light more, it's helpful. If you do store this light in a fanny pack, which is one of my purposes and uses for it, make sure that you unscrew this tail switch all the way. If you don't, you can actually actuate it inside your carry compartment and actually burn the battery out. So you should be able to unscrew it to the point where you can't actuate the push button switch, and that way you won't kill your battery when you need it most. So you know, I don't want to have to come about halfway out on that switch in order to do that. That is kind of a disadvantage of this particular design of not having a push button switch. And at that point, you can see I'm not turning the light on, but then I got to spend the time to screw that all the way back in, which is kind of a hassle. Not too bad with two hands. With one hand, it is kind of a hassle. This is a great little light. The advantage of this would be the super small form factor. Anywhere a pen can fit, the Stylus Streamlight can fit as well. And that's a big advantage. If you're just using a light for electronics, inspecting various places, you don't need like a super bright light. It's a great choice. They do serial number it, which doesn't mean a lot. It's just basically Streamlight's way of telling you that they have built a quality product and they're willing to back it up with a serial number. Next is the Streamlight Stylus Pro. This is an upgrade from the regular Stylus. You can see it's a little bit thicker, a little bit shorter. By the way, they do use different batteries. This is a quadruple A battery in the regular Stylus. You have a triple A battery in the Stylus Pro. That's an advantage actually to have that bigger battery. That means you got more energy to power the LEDs and theoretically a longer runtime. The runtime for the regular Stylus, I believe, is listed at 60 hours, and this one is actually 7.5 hours. Now that kind of goes against what I was just saying, but they've chosen to put a higher, they call it a high flux LED in the Streamlight Stylus Pro, so it's a brighter light, more useful in perhaps more situations. So the downside is maybe a little bit less runtime, but actually 7.5 hours. If indeed you get that, I really haven't tested the duration yet, but if you get that, that's pretty darn good for a tiny little pen light, especially having that output. Streamlight lists the output on the top one, the Stylus Pro, at 24 lumens for 7.5 hours. That's pretty darn good. It's a 0.5 or half a watt LED. Luxion is a brand of LEDs coming out, and like I said in my write-up, there's the LED quality has really improved in the last few years, and it may continue to do so. As of the taping of this video, May 2008, these are pretty darn good lights. Both of them are. The Stylus Pro probably representing more of the cutting edge of the smallest, most compact light you can get in this type of brightness level. And more specifics on the Stylus Pro is unlike the regular Stylus, it has a push button switch, so it's a simple matter of just pushing on, pushing off. I think everyone's familiar with that. Also, the Stylus Pro has an advantage in that it's an electronically controlled light output. If you remember your old mini mag light that everyone has and we all use for years with the AA power sources. The problem with that is the output would become inconsistent. Remember how you used to bang that thing on something to get it to come on again? That's because output was not electronically controlled, and as the battery output diminished, the light would diminish and you'd have all kinds of inconsistencies in the beam. Well, supposedly the electronics in the Stylus Pro, I don't think the regular Stylus has it, but the Stylus Pro has that electronically controlled output, which will prevent such things. Also, you can see the clip on this one is a little more serious. It's thicker. It's, you know, the fashionable tactical black, if that's important to you, and it's fast and it won't rotate and slide up and down the barrel, kind of like the regular Stylus does. So that would make it a little more secure for belt use, you know, pocket use if you want to clip it to the corner of your pocket like you would a knife or something. It's pretty good. It's also made out of anodized aluminum with supposedly Mil 2 anodizing. Not really sure what that means, but it sounds pretty special. I will tell you it's pretty durable. I have several of these lights. I've used them fairly hard. I'm a pilot in the U.S. military, and I've used them in that capacity, and I've been very pleased with this light. I will say this is one of my newer ones, so it doesn't really show the wear and tear, just so it looks fairly good for the video. Between the two, I think each one has its own purpose. Here's a little light comparison. First off, that's the output of the Stylus Pro. Here's a regular Stylus. Still pretty good output. Both the batteries in these are fairly fresh. Been used very little. But both these lights are excellent quality. They're backed up by a very good company with lifetime warranties if you have any problem. Streamlight, I've never really had a problem, but I have friends that have, and they'll just replace it. It's like kind of a no questions asked type deal. For the money you're going to pay for either of the lights, it's a no-brainer. If I had to choose between the two, if I had the room, depending on the application, probably the Stylus Pro. I like that. Whoops, sorry. I like that push button switch a lot, and it's pretty handy. I do, however, use a Stylus as well because it's so thin. Like I said, in the fanny pack, maybe in your flight suit pocket, it fits just perfectly. And honestly, I haven't found the brightness of the Stylus, the regular one, this one, to be lacking. However, the extra output of the Stylus Pro is pretty cool, especially in those situations where you may be looking for a beam effectiveness beyond 6 feet or so. It can reach out there. If you use these lights within their design limitations, i.e. these are not lights that you would go searching for your dog for in the deep dark woods, you know, long distances, maybe 50 yards, they're going to be great. But anything I have found within, you know, probably 25 feet, that might be pushing a little bit, but within the limitations of their beam, you're going to be very happy with them. That's it. Nothing fancy out on the Stylus Pro and the regular Stylus flashlights. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll do more videos later.